And Candace, why don't you tell us what you're grateful for?
Oh, mine is kind of self-indulgent, but I'm grateful that I allowed myself an extra 5 minutes of sleep this morning. It was bliss with the rain and everything. Oh, it was wonderful. I don't often do that, but anyway.
Awesome.
Grateful for that.
Okay, Tracy.
Hello.
Hello. What you grateful for today?
I am grateful that I'm finished Ignite, and I may have, well, Monday, I may have a buyer's consultation.
Cool. Great job. All right, you got plenty of days to practice, right?
Yeah, I sure do.
All right, fantastic. Ryan, what are you thinking about today? What are you grateful for?
Well, I'm grateful that my mother-in-law might be able to come over today because my daughter is now homesick with a stuffy nose, and I had planned to come into this here John Prescott this afternoon, and unless it's being live streamed, I have to have some childcare all of a sudden. So that I'm grateful that someone can do that for me.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that's going to happen, and I don't know about the live stream, to be honest.
Yeah, it says in person only, I think, so I'm guessing no, but I'm going to check just in case.
Okay.
Just in case, Ryan, I can Zoom on my phone, and at least you can hear.
What?
I said, just in case, I can Zoom on my phone. You can join my Zoom room, and I'll just put the speaker on, and that way you can at least hear.
Okay, well, thanks. I think she can come over, so I should be able to do it, but it's just, one of those morning scrambles.
Yeah, good deal.
Okay. Who do we miss? Charleston, what are you grateful for this morning?
Good morning, everyone. I'm grateful for my second day in a row and being able to do a little bit more real estate related stuff this week than I've in the past week.
Excellent. Neha, we are saying out loud what we are grateful for this beautiful morning. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for being alive, being happy. I haven't started that much real estate yet, but I showed one property yesterday, so
all right.
Not much activity going on, taking care of my health at this moment.
Well, activity breeds activity. So we're glad you're back and get ready to get started. All right, last one, I think, Lorinda, what is on your mind this morning? And then we'll give Candace the floor.
I'm grateful for everyone that's been here, that keeps plugging away, that keeps pushing me and pushing the group. So I'm thankful for Bill and Candace.
Beautiful. Well, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have anyone to help. So we're grateful for you as well. And of course, I try every day to voice my appreciation for Candace. So I'll take a moment today, right now, to do the same thing again. So, all right. With all of that said, take it away.
Good morning, everybody. I'm excited. We're on day 4 of our challenge.
Little louder, little louder.
Okay. Oh, wait, let me turn my speakers up. That'll help. We are on day 4 of the challenge. Looks like I went to the Roswell Rocks, and it looks like we have another video, a fantastic video from Tracy Trent. So I hope you all will go look that up. And Tracy, kudos to you for taking the challenge and really doing it. I appreciate that. And Lorinda, same from you. Fantastic. So please go on Roswell Rocks and listen to these videos. These are great videos. So anyway, today is all about content. I gave you a shortcut yesterday.
Oh, hang on. Do you need to share?
No.
Okay.
I don't. I just need to make my screen smaller so I can see what I have, the content I have. I gave you all a shortcut yesterday, but I didn't really flesh it out. And what I wanted to flesh out today is that if you do a video that answers questions that are common, you can then tweak that video. So for instance, if you do, I think, Tracy, I saw yours was 3 tips for negotiation. So if you did something like 3 tips for negotiation and you sent that out in the process of working with a buyer or a seller, you could customize, it's called repurposing or reframing. You could customize the beginning of that and say, "Dear Joe and Kelly," and then it goes right into the video. Oftentimes I am asked such and such, and here's the rest of the video. So oftentimes I'm asked, what happens now when we go under contract? Well, what happens now, that part of the part where what happens now is already recorded. You've already done that video. This is a shortcut for you. So you can send that out, or you can direct people to your YouTube channel, or you can direct people to where your website, if that's where you keep your videos. Anyway, that's just a shortcut for you. And it also separates you. I can tell you that I always bring up Ken Posick in coaching. He was somebody who spoke at Mega Camp, and he started off doing, he lives in Orlando, he's a Keller Williams agent, and he started off doing videos on his YouTube channel. And after about the 80th video, he started getting hits like crazy. And now he gets about 15 leads a day from his videos. And he talks all about different things in Orlando, different things about contracts, so just to give you some encouragement about how powerful videos can be, and that it can be a lead gen platform for you. Okay, so we want to talk about, what have you learned, those of you who are doing the videos and the video text, what have you learned so far?
So my nugget last night was the fact that texting, not texting, but doing the videos, you have to time block it. Because you see that mine have been a little late. Being able to now incorporate it into my time blocking somewhere earlier in the day. So that's one thing I've noticed that I have to do. I looked sleepy last night.
Yeah, there's strategy behind it all, right? You got everything you're serious about deserves a slot in your calendar.
Tracy, what about you? What have you learned?
Okay, so I only recorded it like 15, 20 times for real. You know what? No, for me, so is to just do it.
Yeah, I saw you in the office working on it.
Right. And I had to, and there were a few people walking through, and I was like in the middle, but then I would say, and I was like, oh no, man, no, and I would just stop it. But it was easier for me to just go ahead and do it because it felt like I was being put on the spot. So I had to do or die. So I was going to do. So I did. And then it was just like, finally, like, Tracy, let it go. And you know what I was doing was I was kind of trying to read from the paper. I had pulled out 3 tips that I wanted to do. And I kept trying to look at the paper and read, but not make it seem like I was reading. And then I realized, Tracy, you know what? You just have to learn these 3 tips right quick and just go on and say it.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And not so much use word for word for what was on the paper.
Yeah.
Just kept going over and over. And so just do it. Pick up the script.
I didn't think you were reading it at all.
Oh, really? Okay, good then. That was great.
You practiced probably so much you memorized it. Let that be a lesson as well, though.
Exactly.
And,
so I'll do more of it.
I'm so glad.
Speak a little louder, Candace.
I'm so glad you and Miranda are taking that challenge, because it's a wonderful way to get a message out to people. And like I said, you can repurpose the beginning so you can customize it to your clients and send it out. And that differentiates you like crazy than just an email saying, hey, you're under contract, I'll be calling you. And then you tell them and they can't remember because they're stressed out, right? And they're confused, especially if it's the first time for them. But to send a video that they can watch and rewatch is fantastic. And I'll just say, you can always go in one of the conference rooms if you don't have those. You can't hear me?
Now I can.
Now we can.
Okay.
You're kind of muffled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I've got the camera that I got.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, muffle again.
No.
Yeah. How about now?
Better, but still bad.
I don't know
Maybe
what to
try
do.
your
Maybe.
phone.
Yeah. Let me try my phone. Hang on. I'm gonna hang up the Zoom and I'll try phone Zoom.
All right, while she's doing that, I just want to put a friendly reminder out there. There's a few people who have not posted their numbers in January. And as you would imagine, everyone is all over me for my numbers in January. And I would love to be able to share some awesome stuff with them. We are a bit below our goal right now. So please do your best to add in whatever is lacking, okay?
Okay, is that better?
Oh, much better.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, we can work with this then. All right, so we want to talk about the compound effect of doing this every day. So if you did 10 video texts 5 days a week, that's a lot of videos. That's a lot of videos. That's a lot of reaches to people where they see your face and where they get to interact. They feel like they get to interact with you. So I would just say, keep going. If you're doing the 10 video and start, if you haven't started, give it a try and see what happens. And you know, we always say, I talk to a lot of agents and they say, oh, I tried that. It didn't work. Well, you can't try it once or twice. You have to give it a good shot. My rule of thumb is, for most things, is 6 months. I'll give something 6 months, and if it doesn't work by then I'm done with it. But I think the video texts do work. They don't work for everybody, but they'll work for your clients who want to engage. So we're talking about the phases of a client. We're taking customers on a journey from cold to warm to hot especially with the videos we post online. So we talked about this before, that somebody sees your video and they have never met you, or they don't know anything that you do, and they are what we call cold, right? But if they click on your action step, so for instance, when you put in an action step like click here, your video at the end has a call to action, because we talked about the 5 parts of a video, and the last part is the call to action. So your call to action is private message me if you've posted it in Facebook, or if it's on your website, click here to receive a free home buyer guide, or click here for a free consultation for the value of your home. Whatever your call to action is, if they click on that, then they are now warm. You've taken them from cold to warm. So that means they're interested. So your next job is to move them to hot. And oftentimes that's a personalized video or a phone call or an appointment. But you want to match the messaging to the phase the customer client is in. So for instance, I would not give an example of that. So if a customer is cold, I would not necessarily say, do this. Can anybody think of an example of a cold client and a message you wouldn't give to them?
Would not give to them?
Yes.
I mean, cold clients, my thought is it's offer, value, training, teaching, offer. It's like, how do I get this person to say something to me, right? And then the second that they warm up, then you're prepared to ask the appropriate questions, so that any future time you're going to initiate a conversation, it's unique to their situation.
Thank you. And so what that means is you want short for cold clients, and you want to have a real attention getting title to your video, because think about when you're scrolling through your social media or you're scrolling through your emails, what gets your and what makes you stop, because that's basically you're the cold client in that particular instance. So if you put yourself in that place and you think about what makes you stop, what grabs your attention, and you incorporate that into your process for cold clients, your video will be short. It will be attention getting, like 5 ways to increase profit when you're selling your home, 5 easy ways. I get all the time in my social media, 5 easy ways to, or not easy, 5 easy ways, but I get easy ways that agents are closing more deals. I get that all the time. Just that kind of same message. They're targeting me as a cold audience. If I click on learn more and I fill in the information, then they know I'm warm, right? Okay, so we need to identify a problem that they don't know they have. So they may be, so for instance, I'm thinking about selling my home. I don't really know what my equity is. I might know what my payoff is, but what's the problem that I solve? It's, hey, has anybody done an equity analysis for you? Oh, that's a problem we can solve. Do you know how you can get more profit? Do you know how to get your home sold in the fastest time for the most amount of profit? Those are problems that they don't know that they have. It might be circling around, but for you to put voice to it actually solidifies it in their mind. And then when you solve it very quickly, and then with a call to action for more information, that tends to, if somebody is circling around that world of wanting to sell their home, that gets their attention.
Hey, can I interrupt just real quick? About the equity analysis thing. I don't know if anyone saw it, but they did a whole thing yesterday on the agents that were winning with the equity analysis and all the listings that they've gotten with it. And I missed it during the day, but I watched it last night. It's on the Pivot Shift Facebook page. You can go watch it, and it might be in the Connect, something. But that's what it was. All these agents that's what they offered up. They just, and some use their D2 whatever, and that's how they did it. And they would just call those people and say, would you like to know about the value of your home? And like, it's turned into all these different listings. It wasn't even, some sent things, some just called, some, but it was really interesting the way that they did it. But that's basically how they're getting listings. It's just, and a lot of it was people, past clients. They're like, well, 5 years ago you bought for this, but do you know how much it's in there now? And people didn't, so it's a good thing. It was only like 30 minutes, but it was really good to listen to.
I love that.
I would say that it's not just past clients that's applicable for. It's every single person that they know that owns a home.
Right. Well, and that's what they were saying. One person was like, I go to the past clients, and other people, and then it became, what if you don't have past clients? And it's, well, you don't need to have past clients, to do this, but it's a really easy way to start a conversation, especially if you're struggling with what to say, or someone says, I email everyone on Friday before their week that I'm going to call them. And then they know that I'm going to call them about this. Or sometimes I'll email it out and then I call up all of them with a call. Some have already reached out to me before I even called them, so it was, I'm like, it's a really easy thing to do.
Yeah, I actually have that on my list to do today.
Yeah, so if you get a chance, just go watch it, because it wasn't long. I mean, it was like 30 minutes, and it's on that Pivot Shift Facebook. There's a recording of it, but it was really good. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. It just seemed to apply to what you were saying, and gives more detail on how exactly 3 different agents have done it.
Ryan, such valuable information. I'm so glad you spoke up and told. In fact, I'm going to go listen to it today. The other thing is that if you don't have past clients, you can go to your sphere and you can always look on public records in FMLS, in Realist, to see when their home was, when they purchased their home. So you have an idea of how long they've owned their home. I wouldn't make that necessarily a factor, because I know people whose lives have changed within a year and they sell their home within a year. So I would just offer that up to everybody. And if you're a new agent with past clients, go to your sphere.
Oh, just to make sure everyone's clear, if you owned a home in 2021, your home's probably worth 20% more.
Yeah.
So if I were to drop 20% of the value of your home on your doorstep, everyone's life is going to change. The biggest question now is, are you using your assets, including the value of your home, equity in your home, as efficiently as possible? Right. Yeah. So I mean, I have a guy that lives across the street from me has refinanced 3 times in the last little over a year.
Yeah. And what if they're not ready to move, but they took some of that equity out to buy an investment home? That's another offering you can offer them. And that's a video you could do. What do you do when you have equity in your home, but you're not ready to move, and you want to use that equity to create passive income? That's a great video you could do to send out. So we've got the cold audience, and we have a blanket message. We're speaking to everyone with the same message.
shorter videos, more attention. Like I said, the need to stop scrolling. And then they need more warming up. So we need to make them aware there's a solution to the problem. So warm, once somebody is warm, it's more of a targeted message. We hone down and we get a little bit more in detail. Now they know there's a problem. What's the solution? Are you a veteran who doesn't have enough money in the bank, not great credit? Well, here's some solutions for you. Send more nurturing videos on that topic. So you might, if so, for instance, if you have a bunch of people that are veterans clicking on your, are you a veteran who doesn't have enough money in the bank, not great credit, and you want to buy a home, and you've got a bunch of people clicking on that and wanting more information, well, then you can do more videos on that topic. And like I said, you don't have to be the expert. For instance, you can be the reporter. If anybody knows Pete Vargas, does anybody know Pete Vargas? Well, Pete Vargas is, he's on par with Tony Robbins now. He's built an incredible business. And what he did was he was like, I don't know how to, his whole thing is getting on people's channels. So he started his business. He was like, I don't know anything about anything. I'm young. I don't know anything. But he said, I know I can find people who know things. So he started interviewing people on his podcast. And he built it to a multi-million-dollar business just by being a reporter and interviewing other people. So don't ever think that that takes you down. That's just a value add that you're offering. So if you interview a lender on what can we do for lenders, I mean, for veterans who don't have great credit, what programs are there for? Excuse me just a sec. Oh, and so you can get more on topic and do more videos on that. So a hot person, somebody who you've actually now talked to, they need to know, they need a longer video, what message will be right to convert them at this stage. So you're going to bridge the gap from cold to warm, warm to hot, or cold to hot. There's a whole bunch of information out there on the internet that I don't have time on this huddle to go into. But if this is something that interests you and you're interested in doing videos, I would say please do some research. And sometimes the video content can have different hooks to appeal to a different audience. For instance, I'm in this neighborhood where this is an example. I'm in this neighborhood where the homes sell for $10,000 above asking price minimum, and in 6 days. Are you a seller whose home didn't sell? That's the same content. And then I do the same content. Another hook would be, are you a seller whose home was on the market for 6 months and your home didn't sell and your neighbors right down the street sold for $10,000 more than asking price in 4 days? That's another hook. So I can take the same content and use different lead-ins for it. And if you don't know Canva is a place where you can edit your videos and do those kinds of things. Or you could do a title with the same content, the same video content saying, how to have success as a home seller in this market. You have the same content, pricing. Your content is all about pricing, condition, and accessibility, right? So you don't have to do the work. That's one thing about videos is, oh my goodness, you can do one video and repurpose it in so many different ways that makes your time really productive. And I love that word, productive. Okay, so you want to use the disc profile to come up with different hooks. So how are you, what hook could, so let's brainstorm a minute here. Nobody's going to pivot, right? I mean, nobody's going to Ignite 2.0 this morning, right? It's over.
There is not Ignite 2.0 today. There is an ALC function, which I'm about to hop onto. So okay. I'm gonna make you a host.
Okay.
And you can share your screen and end it whenever you need to, but keep going.
Thank you. So let's brainstorm in here a little bit. What's a hook? Let's get a topic. First, what topic would you like to have your video on? First person who comes up with, we'll go with. And you can
increase in value.
Say it again, Lorinda.
Increase in value.
Increase in value. Okay, so let's talk about how would we, what hook would we use for a D? And it doesn't have to be you, everybody. Short and sweet and to the point, remember?
Yeah, something very direct and quick.
Okay, so how to get the most profit for your home? 3 steps to get the most profit for your home. That would be a D. Let's talk about an I. They're all, you know, I'm an I. I'm high I and high D. So I have a lot of, I want to have fun. I want to, you know, I want it to be quick because of the D, but let's talk about how do we make that hook fun and something that will stop me.
Doing kind of a comparison, and in my opinion, eyes are the people who may overspend and they want to kind of upgrade their home to whereas it's, how am I trying to say, the value, they're doing too much. You know how you can have like the highest home on the block and then the lowest home, like they're upgrading it too much because they're so focused on how they feel that the home should be. Oh my God, this would be great. I'm going to add these type of doors. I'm going to do this. It's like, wait, slow down a bit. That's not going to add value to your home. Kind of pulling them back in because I feel that that's where their creativity lies and upgrades and doing things that may not be necessary. I don't know if I'm right or not, but
please don't take any offense to this, guys, but also oftentimes for the benefit of how they look to others. Yeah. Right. They tend to be a little bit more, what's the word I want to use? Showy, maybe, like, you know, there's somebody there. If 2 people like did a new backsplash in their kitchen, a high I is most likely to take a picture of it and post it online. And a high S is probably not going to do that.
Right. Yeah.
So It's important what other people think.
Very much so.
Okay.
Until you get to be my age and then you don't care. but that's a great point, Ebony, great point. And so for the I, maybe what we would talk about is maybe we say something like top finishes to make your home look its absolute best for increased profit, something like that.